All right. Welcome back to Ultra Review, episode number 3. We're discussing episodes 9 through 12 of Ultra Q. Yes, in case you're curious though, am I almost halfway through this series? Yes. Yes, I am. With this particular episode, I have exactly 16 episodes left to go for the whole series. Now, in these episodes, the first one, now get this, the first one is basically you have our three leads plus a few one-shot characters, where they're basically driving home a party, and they just happen to stay at this abandoned mansion just in the middle of nowhere. Where is the residence, you might ask? Well, by the way, that's not exactly where we start there. We actually start off with basically two lighthouse keepers being attacked by a big spider. And there's no follow-up to this at all. Nope, the spider itself somehow got over there. It ends up back in the mansion. There's two of them. Yeah, there are two of them. They also bring out the Baron Spider, where his daughter, he was an eccentric. He kept collecting spiders like crazy. Brought home a poisonous tarantula that stung his daughter, and she fell into the swamp, never to be seen again. According to rumor, according to legend, she was turned into a spider, and so was her father. Why? Don't know why. It's a bit of an odd story to say the least. It's also, I like the whole haunted house aspect, but the thing is, you see from the outside, like, oh, maybe we can see plenty of rooms. Not really. We only see like the sitting area where they're mainly in, the kitchen, the basement, and one bedroom, and that's it. And there's cobwebs everywhere. Yeah, by the way, the lead character, first one knows the spider, aside from the two from the beginning. Eventually, have to find their way to get out of the mansion, and one of them actually is sick because he got caught something in the swamp. Eventually, they get out of there, and then all of a sudden, for something really weird happens. The mansion self-destructs. Rafty runs on one of the legs of the spider, and it's presumed that this spider that the main character ran over may have been the Baron Spider himself. Maybe. The place is destroyed, and it's like, yeah, don't speak of this ever again. It's a minor crisis, basically, for this one. In the case of episode number 10, this was a really fun one. I like the cinematography of this one. Excuse me. I felt as though with this one, basically, like a lot of this show's budget went into this episode because we had this special Imizu train, which Imizu, like, that seems familiar. Yes, because I think that may have been also the same name of a TV show that later aired in the 70s. Yeah. All but this underground bullet train, which also one of the characters accidentally brings up on a monster. Well, a artificially created monster, which of course basically is also a shoe shiner who's a kid. And at one point he stops shining a guy's shoes halfway through, doesn't charge him because he has some place to be, and him and his friends sneak aboard this train. And he gets to the point where the train gets out of control, and then of course the engine of the train just breaks, and then, by the way, the creature's called M1. He's launched into space along with a kid who decided to hide in the safe. Now, watch this ending, I'm like, yeah, that kid's dead. Because what the heck is he breathing? There's no oxygen. And then for some strange reason, the creature, which had been like a walking baboon, just talks completely randomly. And it's a good episode, but has a very anticlimactic ending to it. Yep. In the case of episode number 11, this is basically featuring a balloon monster from space. Yep. And this thing feeds energy, and this whole energy thing, it's standalone. It doesn't really evolve. Apparently, this monster does come back. When I looked up, apparently it does come back later on at some point, but not in this series. No. But it's a very interesting episode of what it is. And it's a monster is not technically killed by the end of the episode, just basically shot off into space. In the case, next episode, this one randomly involves a bird, which attacks a zookeeper for reasons never explained. They also suspect some time travel when of course, basically a ship from the 10th century winds up in present-day Japan. Well, 19th Japan, mind you. I felt as though with episode 12, it felt like though we had like 5 or 6 storylines. It felt as though this one, the other episodes feel like very cohesive script. This one felt like basically we had to have constant rewrites this episode for no reason. I don't know what the reason was. It was really weird. And it's all basically this bird that's from the past that somehow ends up in present day. By the way, the whole aspect of the ship arriving there, never explained. And apparently the bird, there's also the side story here with this boy with this tiny bird he calls Kuro. And by the way, this boy runs away from home by stealing a boat. And eventually the grown-ups are competent, and of course they try to drag him back to the island. He's like, no, I don't want to go. I want to. He says, he's like, why'd you do the boat? Because I want to come here. And it seems like though he's perfectly happy here. He gets himself some food. He's taking care of himself. Well, somewhat, anyways. Eventually, he decides to go back, and then all of a sudden, because Carol disappears, and then Carol randomly turns to a giant bird. And I do mean completely randomly. It's almost like basically we gotta have a giant monster episode. And by the way, this happens in the last like 3 or 4 minutes of the episode. We have to have a giant monster show up. Yes, and that happened on the entire episode. We have it show up in the last few minutes. It felt as though that was probably a basically you can think of it as it's like basically it was a studio mandate. We gotta have a giant monsters episode, so a bird. And it does look too good. It's by far the weakest monster I've seen in the series so far. Yep. And Monster just somehow just leaves at the rampage. And not seeing this series, but apparently it does show up in some movies. I will be getting those movies in the future. Yep. But not much else to say these episodes. I felt as though with these ones, I felt as though 12, this might have got a kid plot. It felt as though this one was going concurrently. It felt like it was kept interesting the whole time. While in the case, the first time I did it, it felt boring at best and really bad. This one felt a lot better. Okay? But yeah, not much to say these episodes. So that's pretty much a particular view. Next up, well, basically I'll see you tomorrow for this. It's getting kind of late. So tomorrow I expect some more Ultra, Q, and a Comic Corner or two. Okay? Thanks for you. Bye.